back to Tai Chi Wellness, and I know that people will be just finding the location. So while they're doing that, I'm going to just move the camera a little bit, and I'm going to do the first part of the Tai Chi set, just as a warm-up. So anybody that's managed to find the channel, here we go. Let's just play a little bit. So I'm going to bring in the bow, which gives thanks to those people who've passed Tai Chi forward through all of these centuries and the lovely gifts that Tai Chi provides us. This is our commencement. I'm turning to the right, and this is left grass bird's tail, and then grass bird's tail. Such a lovely opportunity to just really be present. Nice deep breathing. When you figure out what you're doing, it's nice deep breathing. Might be a little stressful as you're trying to learn and be engaged. This is into step up to raise hands. White stork spreads wings. And so I'm just going to continue through the set here as people find the location. Feel free to do whatever you need to do in order for you to be ready to do Tai Chi today. I'm just enjoying the set. Brush knee left, brush knee right, towards my dining room table, brush knee left. You hold right there. If you're doing this with me, I'm just going to back up. Half step. Stronger paper. Brush knee left. So we have deflect, parry, and punch. And then appear to close the entrance. Oh, that feels really nice. All right, there's 108 moves to the Tai Chi set. That's the first 17. I'm going to put the bow on at the end. Again, the bow is a part of gratitude, and it's about changing the approach to how you look at things. So I always like to give thanks to those that I can. All right, for those that have found me so far, thank you for being here, and I hope that this will work into your schedule well. I'm sorry to have missed you last week. I'm just going to show you what we ended up, our team ended up winning this beautiful little plaque for part of the activities that we were involved with Children's Wish and Make-A-Wish. They've combined the two organizations into one, and we were doing the Heroes Challenge. So trying to grant a few more wishes for some of the children that were affected by the pandemic and isolation and some of the normal things that would happen for some of the kids who have life-threatening illnesses. And so we painted the Rock of Hope as one of the activities. And the wonderful recipient of the Children's Wish here in Cape Breton, Madison, sorry, I could see the M and the name disappeared. Madison, she did a check through all the painted rocks, and we were the lucky recipients. And so our prize was these fantastic chocolate rocks. So I loved that, and a beautiful card made by Katie. And anyway, we on the Dragonfly team managed to raise over $3,000. There was only a couple of us on our team, so we were quite excited about that. And overall for Nova Scotia, there was raised over $21,000 at last count. They're still collecting until the end of October. So it's a wonderful, wonderful way to give back to an organization that did a lot for our family when my daughter was sick. And so it's always great to be in the position to offer back. And so thank you for, watching an archived Tai Chi class last week. And now that we're up to the 12 o'clock mark, we've done one Tai Chi 17 move situation, just so you could see what it looked like. you can always go back and see it again. And you can always watch them on the Tai Chi Wellness videos on the YouTube channel. So now what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about this fantastic muscle, the psoas muscle. And then what we're going to do is we're going to engage it through some of the Tai Chi activities today. Now, typically you want to do movement like the Tai Chi set to get the body all warmed up. So you don't want to start with an exercise because you want to change the tendons and the muscles. And if you start into an exercise, the body isn't even coordinated and warmed up as far as all the systems having a nice even flow to it. So that's why I always start with the Tai Chi set. And I did the 17. It would be awesome to do it 3 times in a row. And as you get better at the set, that's what you'll be doing. For now, let's do the first part that we've been practicing for the last couple of weeks since I started the broadcasts again. So this is the Tai Chi parts for commencement, left grass bird's tail, grasp bird's tail. We're going to come around with whip to one side. And my aim today is to try to get white stork spreads wings in. That little package in there will get all the systems going. And then the last piece of the 17 coordinates it all. So we're going to work through that. So I'm going to do the first little piece. I'm going to do it facing you, but then I'm going to turn and change some different directions. I know for those people that are new to Tai Chi, it's very difficult to watch me and try to figure out where you're going to go. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just doing a little bit of a turn because that might help too. Okay, so we have the commencement, which is pushing down into the feet and let the arms float. And then you're going to sink down into the feet. And then we have a turn that goes to the right. So this right hand goes out and the left heel releases so you can turn to face the right side for you. Your left hand is going to come around to hold the ball. And then you step with the left foot and you wipe the right hand down the left hand. Left grasp bird's tail. Hold the ball. And now we're going to come through. Fingertip goes to your wrist. Bow and arrow comes back. Palm to palm goes forward. Open the hands. 2 hands are going to go out. Sinking back. I'm going to turn my whole right side. Spiral all the way around, coming out from my center. I make a cone with my right hand. And this is whip to one side. Okay, so that's the little pattern. So let me turn it a little bit. You try it again with me. Okay, so I'm going to turn just a little bit more. So you have commencement and sink. Turn to your right. Put out your right hand and let your left heel slide. Hold the ball. Left grasp bird's tail. Hold the ball. Grasp bird's tail. Bow and arrow back. Palm to palm forward. Open the hands. 2 hands go forward. Sink back. There's a nice crack in my ankle. Comes around to face the other way. Whip to one side and reach out. All right. So I'm going to turn it one more time. This will give us our 3 times together. So I'm going to turn so I'll face kind of towards the back, but just turn just a little bit so you can see. So here's commencement. Turn to your right and reach out. Hold the ball. Left grasp bird's tail. Hold the ball. Grasp bird's tail. Fingertip goes to the wrist. Bow and arrow comes back. Palm to palm. Open the hands. 2 hands go out. Sinking back. Whip to one side. And reach out. Okay, that gives us our 3 rounds. Okay, let's work on grasp bird's tail. So this little piece here, that's also known in some of the Tai Chi writings as the 3 pushes. So what I'm going to do is I've got my left foot turned to 45 and my right foot is straight forward. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push from the back foot through to the front foot and down into that leg. Push out of that leg and sink back down into the back leg. Now, when you push up and go forward, you're trying to turn your 2 hip bones, your 2 headlights, square. So they're facing directly where you want to go. And then what you're going to do is not push forward so that your knee goes in front of your toe, but you're actually going to let the lower back relax, let the hip release, and you're going to sink into that leg. So if you notice, my knee is not going past my toe. Okay, from that position, you're going to push out of the right foot and you're going to let your tailbone, sorry, I got the wrong hand there, tailbone going back. You're going to push your tailbone back. Now it looks like I'm leaning over to do that, and that's for me to share with you what the action is going to be. So from right here, I push into this foot, tailbone scoops back and out. That action is really important because your hip then is bending, because a lot of people will do this and their knee is locked. Their hip didn't move, it's stretched, but that's not what we want. And your back now has a little bit of arch in it, so now you've got some pressure on the lower back. So what we're going to do is line that up to be straight. So we have square, push the tailbone, sorry, wrong hand again, push the tailbone back and sink into that left leg. Push out of the left leg, turn to bring your hips square to the side and sink into the right leg. Push so the tailbone goes back and drop. Now you're not going deep into the leg. What you're trying to do is open the lower back. That little piece in there is where we start to have engagement with the muscle called the psoas muscle. And it does attach in the middle here, but it has a big influence on what happens in the lower part of your back, where some people may enjoy sciatic nerve pain. There's a lot going on inside the body, and that muscle is so dynamic in what it can do. So what we have happening is we're just trying to engage, letting this lower back open a little bit with the action. It isn't about sitting on the leg to gain leg strength, although that happens. It's about opening. That's the key piece. The massage from foot to foot means your tailbone will line up with the floor, straight up and down. It does that as soon as you push into your foot, it lines up. So what you're looking for is how can you feel that, and then how can you bring that into the movement. So if we go back to the 3 pushes, so you've got, fingertip here, push the tailbone back first, that's going to roll back. The arms are too much, don't put them in. Push from the back foot, this goes palm to palm, open. Push from the front foot to the back foot, push from the back foot to the front foot. So you have this push, this pumping action that's coming back and forth in the feet, the tailbone, sorry, there's that hand again, tailbone lining up with the floor and creating this openness just at the lower back here. That's where most people will comment about being really tight, as well as their hips, but also where pain will show up, or that where it will start to radiate if it is a sciatic issue. And that is just imbalance in the body, creating tightness in areas where it shouldn't be, and pinching going on. So what we want to do is just release all of that. That little action is beautiful. Now, we only do it on this side. We don't turn around and repeat it on the other side. And that's because you have a flow in your body that goes around. It doesn't go here. It goes around energetically. So the sequence of the Tai Chi set creates the flow to go in that circular action, not what you do on the right is repeated on the left. It's a different way of doing it. Okay, so let's go to that same little sequence one more time, and then we're going to come around into, step up to raise hands, into white stork spreads wings. And then I'm going to talk a little bit more about how we're affecting the psoas. Okay, so here we are. So fingertip into the wrist, turn the right hand, it brushes past the left hand, sink. You notice my elbow's down there. Palm to palm, open the hands. Again, my elbows are down, and it comes out from the center. Now I'm going to sink back from my right foot to my left, so I let my tailbone come back. And as I come around, my whole right side of my body is just going to kind of fold around in a circular action. So it's going to go fold, and that's how you get your right foot all the way around. Turn your hands and bring them into your left hip. And all your weight will now be on your right foot, and your left toe can just spiral. The hands are going to go past lower dantian to make a cone in the right hand, so it looks like that. And the other hand is going to go up by your elbow. So it comes up, you sink down, put all the weight down into that foot so your tailbone will line up with the floor. Place the foot, and now here is another Toyu, but now it's to the other direction. Turn. Okay, we don't do 3 of them, we just do the 1, but then there's more movements coming. All right, so let's do that little piece again. So you have facing to your right, fingertip into the wrist, bow and arrow back. Palm to palm, pushing through those feet. Tailbone going back first. 2 hands go out. Sink back. Turn. Spiral. Lift. Sink. Place the foot and spiral out. Okay. So now let's do a little bit with the Toyu itself. So everyone asks that, what is a Toyu? It's T-O-R, second word, Y-U, Toyu. It means the action that we just did, forward and back. That's the action. It's all the way through the Tai Chi set. We can practice them on their own, or we can practice them in the series. The action I want to bring to your attention, though, is what happens to the psoas muscle. And this is compliments of Deborah Jinsa Thayer, who I have had the privilege of following for the last couple of weeks. And she was talking about the psoas, and I went, I knew all these pieces about the psoas, but explaining them to my Tai Chiers, I have not done in the same way. So I'm going to do that. So this is compliments of her education to me. So what happens with that psoas is we've got that opening that's happening here, but we also have the muscle attaching up the spine, thoracic 12 to 8, through that whole section. And it's coming through and it's attaching to the inside of the top of the femur. Okay. So what we want to do with that is it has this beautiful little action of it spirals inside. So it's coming off the hip, and it does this in order to be strong. And what we're doing in Tai Chi is we're doing that exact action to create the cohesiveness of movement that all the other muscles will do in tandem with the psoas muscle. So we did the 3 pushes on our right side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the left, and I'm just going to do a Toyu action. It's not part of the set. So sometimes we just practice this way. So I'm going to take my right foot and turn it 45. I'm going to sit on that leg. Then I'm going to take my left foot and put it straight forward. You notice I didn't move my weight. I just put it where it was comfortable. My heels are in line with each other, so I'm not going to move my foot. Sorry, I'll just back up so you can see my foot better. I'm not going to move it so it's kind of instepped. If I drew a straight line back, it would be like I would be making like a check mark with my foot and my leg if someone were to draw it. Okay, so what I'm going to do with the Toyu here is I'm going to take and turn my body. So my hip bones are going to come around to my left leg this time and line up. And my hands are just going to express out. I'm going to sink back, and this time I'm going to cross my left hand over my right, and then I'm going to push back. You'll notice I'm not actually moving very far. I'm going to push into my left foot, which drops my tailbone to the floor, opens my lower back. If I let it go, I sink into my right leg. I'm not going to turn my body. I'm just going to sink into my right leg. My hands stay in front of me. My hands are right in front of the center of my chest. And then as I push to come out of that, my hands line up again to my side wall to be able to push out to the side. So we sink back, the hands line up with the heart, push, and comes forward. It's a tiny little movement. But as you're doing that movement, I want you to think about how you push off that right leg, and then how the spiral comes into the turn here. So the psoas muscle on this side is moving one direction, and the psoas muscle on this side is moving a different direction in order to let that action happen. And that spiraling, so this one, the muscle is going to go in, while on the left side, the muscle is going out. And then what happens is we reverse the action to come back. It's so beautiful. So we have this turn, and then we come back, turn. Now, key for it is breathe, relax. See if you can feel that lower back. Notice if it's holding on, because if it is, very small movements, very slowly, and with time, it'll just start. And we're looking for the melting action. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so let's try this left side. Okay, so the right foot is facing 45. The left foot is facing straight to where you're going to go. And you turn your hip bones around to line up with that straight, and you push straight. Sink back to the 45, and your hands come in front of the heart. Open the hands and let them express out. Sink back. Now, for those that have been doing this for a while, you may start to feel how you can coordinate all the actions through the body, but also you may start to feel energy in the hands, maybe the wrists, maybe the elbows, and that's where everything is really starting to flow. Letting that keep going right through. Sink. All right, so now the Toyus. I would love to say I enjoy them all the time, but if I'm stressed, and I might not feel stressed, but if I come in kind of, tight, not breathing deeply, haven't relaxed, my lower back is going to just be so tight and not letting go. So I really have to pay attention to be present in the moment, deep breathe, let all of the day's activities disappear from my head, and then focus on the movement. Expand and contract. Also spiral and spiral. I believe I see Oria there. I anticipate that's all the Gillises. Hello. So good to have you here. We had a huge class in Port Hawkesbury for our very first in-person class since March. Oh my gosh, it was so delightful to see everyone, and it was great. So I'm looking forward to when Belcote is back open and we get back to Belcote. In the meantime, hello Gillises. And anyone else from Belcote that tunes in later. Okay, so we have now talked a little bit about that psoas muscle and its attachment from the leg into the center of the spine and how it has a spiraling action that it works with. Now, it's not going to work all by itself. It's responsible for either lifting the leg. I know the quad is in there too, but it's responsible for the contraction that allows that action to occur. But also, you have the action of leaning over. It's also responsible for that. So if you sit in a chair all day, if you're like me at the computer quite a bit, it's contracted a lot. So some other muscles have to let go in order for it to be so contracted. And we want to bring balance back into the system where they work in tandem, just going back and forth, kind of massaging in and out. That's what we're waiting for. So let's add the next movement on. We came around and we went whip to one side was the last move we did in the set. So now let's do step up to raise hands into white stork spreads wings. This is going to take those 3 pushes that we did on the right and bring a balance into the system by how we do this little tiny massage in the pelvis. Okay, so if you're here, whip to one side, you're going to push from your left foot and sink back into your right, and notice how you can let the whole back of the pelvis go. So you push back. Left toe is going to turn towards the corner, which would be 45, and then you shift your weight onto it. So you have a massage each direction. My knee just realigned itself, nice big clunk. Okay, then you put all your weight into the left foot so you can put your right heel down. And when you do that, just turn so you can see, my heel is not very far from my toe on my other foot. And when I go to put it down, I'm going to do a sink that's going to go right from the back of the head, down the neck, down the spine, right to the tailbone. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to lengthen all the way down each vertebra. Okay, so let's do that again. So we have whip to one side, sink back into the right, hold that position, turn the toe, push from the right into the left, put out the heel. There's a little bit of a rise there so you can be at the front, and then you're just going to sink to open the spine. Feel that. Okay. All right, let's see where you put something in. Oh, bell coat isn't going to open up through the winter. Well, we might have to find another spot. We might have to look at Marguerite and see what we can do with Marguerite. Okay, so we're here. I'm going to do a little bit with the arms, okay? So I'm just going to turn a little bit. So you have the arms out here. This one is in a cone. You've closed your fingers. The wrist is relaxed. The elbow's relaxed, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to sink, expand, sink. It's beautiful, isn't it? Okay, that's the action that happens. You can see my whole body just wants to get right into it. But let's just try that again. So you have whip to one side. It goes, you see my shoulders move. There's like a little spiral that goes through the body. Everything's relaxed, an expansion. And then this is going to sink, 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 drop. As the hands come to line up and the elbow lines up, the whole spine opens and there's a drop that comes all the way through. It's fantastic. This is your opportunity to spiral back and forth with grassbird's tail into whip to one side. You're spiraling your psoas muscle like this. And then right here, we line it all up and we say, okay, now that you've kind of been washed back and forth, we're just going to lengthen you. Lengthen, 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 and make everything nice and long. So if there's any tightness, we're just going to let it go. And that's what it's asking for. Okay, so here's your whip to one side. Sink back into your right. Turn your left toe. Weight goes on the left. Put out your right heel. And here's your relaxation. Line it up. Drop and relax. Yes. Okay. So now the last little piece. For those of you that have not done Tai Chi before and you're coming in, you're trying to watch me on a video, please be patient with yourselves. Learn the arms, learn the feet, Learn the directions, take one piece. Come back to the video tomorrow, learn another piece. Come back the next day, learn another piece. Don't try to do it all at once, and please don't get frustrated. It took all of us learning Tai Chi a long time to put all the pieces together so they felt comfortable. So it's worth the effort, but just know that you're not alone. Okay, so we are here. What we're going to do now is drop the right toe to the floor, but don't shift your weight. Drop your right hand down to lower dantian, but don't shift your weight. Pick up your right foot and turn it so it lines up the same as the left foot. And then you're going to push from the back foot, the left, into the right, and just do a little sink. You'll feel that lower back. Bring your left foot just for balance. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn the right hand to the floor, turn to expand it up to the left side wall. It goes up to the top, and at the top, the hand is going to turn, which you couldn't quite see in the screen, so I'll do this separate later. Open, and then we finish with a Toyu. Turn. So you can see how the action's from one side, massage it, you turn around, you start the massage, but then you line it up. And then what's going to happen on this side is you're going to, again, massage it back and forth. Okay, let's get these arms. Let me back up a little bit so you can see my hand. Okay, so I'm just going to do arms, forget about feet. So here's your hands. Hand comes down to lower dantian. The left one turns to push forward, and both of them are going to expand out. Put your right hand to the bottom. Pull it up the outside while the left one goes to the bottom. So we go opposite. And just before you get to the top, the right hand does a spiral like it's turning a light bulb. And then it's going to start down. The other hand is going to be like it's wiping the table. This hand comes all the way through, in, and this would be a brush knee. Okay. So, brand new to this, it's like, oh my gosh, what's happening to my arms? Lots in there. Okay, so let's do that white stork part right here. Okay, so the right hand goes to the bottom, circles out, goes up and out, turn the hand, sweep around, open, sink, and expand. Yeah? Okay, let's try it one more time. So the left hand to the bottom, the right hand is going to go up to the top, turns at the top, spiral, open, like a big fresh breath of air, sink the elbows, brush knee. Okay, so let's add the feet back in. And again, if it's too much, just do one part. Just work on arms, that's fine. Okay, so the heel is out. I'm going to turn just a little bit, so hopefully that helps you. So we're going to go sink. You would be facing straight forward. Your toe drops, your hand comes down. All the weight stays on the left. Pick up and turn your right foot, and then expand your hands out as you pull yourself over into that right leg. Bring your left leg in for balance. Drop your right hand, and this is going to go up, sink, open, step, and brush knee, which is your Toyu, but just in a different action. Okay, now if you think about that psoas muscle and that spiraling action that I talked about, let's just talk about it through here. So here's your heel, sink, you've opened your spine, foot, hand. Place the foot. Now, as you shift from one leg to the other leg, the psoas is pushed over in a spiral. Place the foot. Now the psoas is going to spiral back the other way, but then it's going to be pulled and lengthened. Then the tailbone drops. There's a spiral action that comes back in, so that's the washing machine there. Place the foot, and now we have a spiral from the right leg through to the left leg. And the next sequence that is in here has more time on the left leg. So we did grass bird's tail to our right, which massaged back and forth on that right side. We came around. Now we have a little bit stretching, expand and drop, and then the next sequence is going to be on the left side playing, but we had to go back and forth in the middle. Okay, hey, Miss Rhonda, hugs to you. I hope you are well at your dance studio. I have been thinking about you and all the challenges that you're navigating. Thank you for coming in this morning. I appreciate that you're here. Lots of wonderful material happening in the dance program. I'll be launching another one very shortly. Anyway, okay, so let's play a little bit more with that psoas in that spiraling action, okay? So let's go from the beginning of the set, move through the actions, and in our minds, we're just going to be thinking about that action that the spiraling is going to be in the psoas, but also how it's attaching in the spine. It attaches in different parts, mostly on the side, but then there's some that comes in from the inside. And again, you're attaching to the top of the leg, and so how you rotate your leg is very important to how the psoas is functioning. And then that, of course, coordinates with all kinds of other tissue, which is fantastic. So here we have commencement, sink. Turn to your right with your right foot and your right hand. Let the left heel go. Hold the ball. Step with the left foot to the corner. Left grass bird's tail. So now you know the spiral action that's happening there. Hold the ball. Step with your right foot. And you're going to go fingertip into the wrist. Bow and arrow back. Palm to palm. Open the hands. Two hands go out and sink back. Now you're going to turn your whole right side in. Shift the weight. Let the left foot go. That's going to open the psoas muscle on that side and spiral around. So now we kind of put it in the washing machine. We go into the right, into the left. Place the foot, and now you're going to line the spine up, drop the tailbone, let it come all the way down. Foot, hand. Turn the foot, and then glide across. Sinking down into that leg, you're going to spiral up, out the top of the head, lengthening all the way through, and then sink. So you gave it a nice stretch, you lined everything up, place the foot, comes through and out. And that gives us into the last piece that will be on that side. Okay, that gives you that bit. All right, hello, Charlotte. Good to see you, or good to know you're here, I guess is the best way to put that. So we have Belcote on Cape Breton Island, we have Ontario, and we have Alberta. Lovely, lovely to have you all here. I've missed everybody. Okay, so we have worked through that psoas muscle and walked it through. What I'd like you to notice now is just standing on your feet. What do you notice? We didn't do this at the beginning, but you may notice this just from how you usually stand. For me at the moment, because we focused on the hip and the psoas muscle, I actually can feel my hip bones have expanded to open my lower back, which was quite tight from all that I did this week. But my knees feel like they are completely lined up to my foot. So that is a wonderful thing, because sometimes I rotate a little bit in, and then there's a little bit of pressure that goes to the inside of my knee, and it's not there. Everything is really lined up straight. So even if you only practice this little sequence, it can change a lot for you. And if you focus on different muscle groups just with knowing the knowledge of how they work and integrating them into the whole body movement, you can dynamically change so much that is going on for you. And if you notice you have tension in one area, see if that tension has released or shifted by the time we get to the end. There should be no pain in your knees. Everything should be very balanced, very gentle and soft. Okay, I'm going to do the 17 moves one more time. You follow along. You know all the way up to the brush knee, the last little sequence. So follow along the best you can. And if you know the set, which many of you do, let's do it. I'll see. Try not to run out of room. Okay, so here's our commencement. Nice big breath. We have a gorgeous weekend ahead. Nice and relaxed. We can relax into enjoying the weather. Here goes the right foot, the right heel. Hold the ball, stepping to your left grasp bird's tail. Hold the ball, step with your right. Fingertip to the wrist. Bow and arrow back. We talked about massaging the feet today and how that psoas muscle is spiraling back and forth. And you're just kind of waking it up. Sink back. Spiral on that left toe. Whip to one side. Sink and place your left foot. And it's going to come out. So now you go back into your right. Turn your left toe. Put out your right heel. Sink. Foot. Hand. Turn the foot and glide across. Plant the foot. White stork spreads wings. We're going to go up to the top. Sink. Open this up. Step through. Brush knee. Okay, so now here's the brush knee sequence. It's a half step with a spiral back to the right. Heel goes out. Sink. So that's similar to what you saw in step up to raise hands. Brush knee left. Twist step. Brush knee right. So now what we're doing is we're taking that psoas muscle from one side to the other side, full length of spiraling. Half a step, heel goes out, strum the paper. I'm just going to back up a little bit, otherwise you'll lose me there into the plant. Open, brush knee left. Okay, so I went back and forth, full extent of the psoas. Here we go. We're going to lift the arms up. That's going to give us an expansion across the back of the spine. In, out, spiral down. It actually lines everything up as far as the psoas goes. And one more spiral, sink, spiral. And we come back around, the arms in front of us, toe, heel, sink. So you line everything up straight. Cross the hands over, weight is in the left foot, you just adjust the foot so they're both lined up side by side, and shift. And right here is like your check-in for everything being lined up and straight. Beautiful. Okay, so that's the first 17 moves, a little bit with the psoas, whole bunch of actions and things to play with. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to put them in the comments there. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you next week to see what you're going to do. We covered similar kinds of activities in the class in Port Hawkesbury on Wednesday night, just so you have an idea. And we also ran a saber set and a low cup set, half of the low cup set. It had been a while, but we all so loved getting back to the saber. We ran 2 of those, and that felt really good. So, okay, thank you for being here. I wish you all a fantastic weekend, a lovely Friday, and I appreciate so much that you're putting Tai Chi into your day and you're taking care of yourself. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.